Corazón contesta, ¿por qué palpitas así? ¿Por qué palpitas como una campana así? Que se encabrita así. ¿Por qué palpita? ¿No ves que la noche la pasa en vela así? La pasa en vela como el mar violento así. La carabela así. ¿Qué te estás creyendo? No soy de fierro, sí, no soy de fierro. Me tratan lo mismo, sí, como a los perros, sí, como a los perros. Es mi pecado, va a maltratarme así, va a maltratarme como al prisionero, sí, así sentarme, sí, quiere matarme. Pero a ti te ocultan duras paredes, sí, duras paredes, y mi sangre oprime, sí, entre tus redes, sí, entre tus redes. Corazón maldito, sin miramiento, sí, sin miramiento, ciego sordo, de nacimiento, sí, de nacimiento, me das tormento, sin miramiento, me das tormento.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Community Alliance for Global Justice, I want to welcome you to the 14th annual SLEE, Strengthening Local Economies Everywhere Gala. I'm Heather Day. I am CAGJ's Executive Director. I'm greeting you here from the CAGJ office at Welcome Table Church on Beacon Hill. We are located on Coast Salish land, otherwise known as Seattle. Maybe you're enjoying Loki Fish Company salmon. Thank you to Loki for that wild salmon, and maybe greens from Clean Greens Farm. As my husband, Travis English, and I got to prepare them recently when we filmed that opening video. So just before you dig in, let us honor the Salmon people. The First Peoples of Seattle and the surrounding areas include the Duwamish, the Muckleshoot, the Quinault Indian Nation, and many other Native peoples. We strive to learn from their resilience in the face of centuries of oppression, and I encourage you to join me in supporting the Duwamish tribe by paying rent and becoming a monthly sustainer. I want to thank Patricia Masuela, Diego Coy, and Abel Rocha for that beautiful music with Sin Fronteras. That opened SLEE and will be accompanying some of the videos tonight. Sin Fronteras means without borders, and their music is born of the liberation struggles of Latin America. I want to recognize our honored guests tonight, who we invited because you are food producers, called peasants in many parts of the world, who struggle every day to bring us healthy food in relationship with the land. We thank you for your incredibly hard work. And we want to thank our Food Justice Project Solidarity Campaign partners who are at the front lines of our food sovereignty movement. That includes Got Green, the grocery workers of UFCW 21, the members of the Muckleshoot tribe and Quinault Indian Nation who we partner with, the farm worker-led Community to Community and Familias Unidas por la Justicia, and now Trabajadores Unidas por la Justicia, the farm worker unions, the youth-led Uprooted and Rising, and Washington Fair Trade Coalition. Despite the fact that we have to hold SLEE virtually this year, we've put together a really special program for you. Our keynote, Tariq Abdullah, is going to be amazing, as he is in all of his many creative and impactful endeavors. Check out the silent auction during this virtual gala. There are many amazing packages. I really want Brad Meninga ceramics, hint, hint to anybody. Also see a honey package, there's kayak and boat rentals, cool kid stuff, amazing art, theater tickets, so check it out. Some items will close tonight at 7 and the rest will close at 5 p.m. this coming Tuesday, so you have a little time for some of the items. If you haven't signed in to bid on silent auction items yet, it's not too late. You can see the link being posted right now in the chat or in your digital program for how to do that. And one of the saddest parts about not being together in person is not having our dessert dash, which is a really fun part of our annual gala. But you can still pitch in through member donations tonight. There are 2 ways to give. You can see your digital program again or the links, but basically you can either donate through our SLEE platform or directly to our website. Now we're going to share a bit about highlights from Community Alliance for Global Justice this past year in this short video. Enjoy.
Community Alliance for Global Justice was founded by people who helped organize the historic 1999 protests against the World Trade Organization here in Seattle. This past fall, we marked the 20th anniversary of the WTO protests with multiple events and a direct action.
When we launched our first SLEE dinner 14 years ago, CAGJ started building relationships amongst folks dedicated to food justice, fair trade, and trade justice. Today, our mission is to strengthen the global food sovereignty movement through community education and mobilization. Food sovereignty is a movement led by peasant food producers around the world who organize to insist on the right of peoples to healthy and culturally appropriate food, produced through ecologically sound and sustainable methods, and the right to define their own food and agriculture systems.
CAGJ's food sovereignty work bridges the local and the global through our Food Justice Project, AgriWatch campaign, and our trade justice organizing. And we want to share a few highlights from our work over the past year. In 2020, our Food Justice Project organized our second Rise Up Summer School, converting it to an all-online platform due to coronavirus. Over 100 people registered for this 3-month political education and leadership development program, which highlighted 3 of CAGJ's solidarity campaigns. We hosted webinars for each one, including our campaign to uplift Northwest tribal opposition to genetically engineered salmon, farm worker rights during the pandemic, and African food sovereignty. We supported farm worker union Familias Unidas por la Justicia while they provided on-the-ground support to fruit packing workers on strike in Eastern Washington to demand safer working conditions amid the pandemic. Summer school participants learned grassroots fundraising skills and surpassed our goal of raising $20,000 for the union.
Our AgriWatch campaign aims to hold the Gates Foundation accountable for the harm created by its agricultural development programs in Africa. Recently, this work has been gaining considerable momentum. We became a member of the Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa when 3 of our members traveled to Senegal in late 2018. Last fall, we brought several African partners to Seattle, including the coordinator of Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa, Million Belay, who presented at Town Hall Seattle with author Timothy A. Wise, and the Nderitu family, who runs GBIAC, an incredible farming training program in Kenya. 350 people registered for our webinar regarding AgriWatch's 2 recently published reports. Our research uncovers how the Gates Foundation partners with the Cornell Alliance for Science to train communications professionals, most of whom are African, to disseminate biotech industry propaganda and to discredit agroecology. We are currently facilitating increased collaboration between the U.S. and African food sovereignty movements. We play an active role in the U.S. Food Sovereignty Alliance and National Family Farm Coalition, which is a member of Livia Campesina North America.
Next year, we will celebrate CAGJ's 20th anniversary, so we figured this was a great time to reflect on our role in the food sovereignty movement. We are so grateful to our members who have dedicated countless hours over the past year in dreaming about how CAGJ can most effectively take action over the next 20 years. Together, we articulated that our vision is a future free from oppression where people and the planet flourish and communities control the decisions affecting them. Global justice has been achieved through the realization of an equitable economy, encompassing fair trade, wealth redistribution, and land reform. All are nourished by a just and decolonized food system, grounded in principles of food sovereignty and agroecology.
We have also clarified our strategies. CAGJ organizes for food sovereignty using a racial equity framework, prioritizing those most impacted through movement building and by shifting the narrative about food systems to uplift food sovereignty and agroecology. This is just a small part of our new theory of change. We encourage everyone to check out on our website.
We salute all of the frontline workers and activists whose work we support through our solidarity campaigns, including UFCW 21, Got Green, Muckleshoot Food Sovereignty Project, Familias Unidas por la Justicia, and Community to Community Development. Our most active solidarity campaign these past few months has been with Familias Unidas, as they accompanied several strikes of fruit packing workers and are now supporting the formation of the new union called Workers United for Justice. It is organizations like these who are transforming the food system and whose work is and always has been essential.
Raj Patel, activist and author of the fantastic book called Stuffed and Starved, said this about us. CAGJ is proof that the spirit of the Seattle WTO protests lives on. It is courageous, compassionate, critical, and community-driven. If we are able to achieve social justice in the 21st century, it'll be because of this practical leadership of groups like CAGJ. We invite you to join CAGJ as a member today by donating and/or committing your time and energy to help us organize. Together, we can make another world possible.
Video as much as I did. This has been a really hard year for everyone, of course. Also a really inspiring year. It's amazing to see how much the Black Lives Matter movement is accomplishing, pushing to defund the police here in Seattle and around the country. And despite the many challenges, or perhaps, because of them, it feels like a moment of possibilities. I just want to share, it's been especially hard because at the beginning of the pandemic, our amazing organizing director, Simone Adler, accepted a job with another social justice group, and we're sad to see Simone go, but also super grateful that they're still involved. But since we're not sure how we'll be impacted by the pandemic and the economic crisis, we've held off from hiring. So it has been overwhelming for me at times as the only full-time staff. But at the same time, it's been such an exciting year for CAGJ, with so many members stepping up and doing just great work together. We're really grateful too to our SLEE coordinator, Sarah Lavenhar, who agreed to support with an additional 10 hours a week to get me through this, and Noelle Hutton, who recently joined as our amazing part-time organizer. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for doing your part to bring CAGJ into our 20th year next year. Unbelievable. So just a quick reminder to review the silent auction, which closes in 45 minutes. Part of it closes in 45 minutes. It is now my honor to introduce Tariq Abdullah, tonight's keynote speaker. And you're here with us. Hey, Tariq, good to see you. So when we were trying to decide on a theme for this year's gala, it was before the pandemic, actually, but we already knew we wanted to focus on hope. What gives us hope? What inspires us to keep going? And one of our members proposed focusing on food justice work with youth, because youth give us hope. And that's how we came to invite Tariq. And we're so grateful that you accepted. Tariq is a chef, artist, innovator, and community activist based in South Seattle. Through his North African and Mediterranean cuisine, Tariq channels the flavors of his childhood and Muslim upbringing, sharing meals with fellow community members and culinary knowledge with local youth. When the pandemic hit and food insecurity spiked across our region, Tariq helped to fill a much needed gap as a co-founder of the Seattle Kitchen Collective, providing free meals to those in need, no questions asked. And if you look at the end of your digital program, you can see a way to donate to the Seattle Kitchen Collective, which I encourage you to do. His projects and accomplishments are really vast, from having filmed the Munchies Guide to Washington series, to hosting pop-up dinners at Midnight Mecca, to doing The Taste with Anthony Bourdain, to being a youth culinary instructor at Coyote Central. Tariq feeds the people. So we're grateful to you for joining us tonight to tell your story.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Yes, just like Sarah said, my name is Chef Tariq, aka Cook a Tea, aka Chef Tariq, the man with the pans. Yes, I am 47 years old, Seattle resident with 20 plus years in the industry between Seattle and Los Angeles. And, basically I want to just talk a little bit about my work and my goals and how we can all work together and try to fix what we have going on right now. And so basically we'll just start off by what is Feed the People? So basically a few years ago, some folks in the neighborhood were like, Tariq, you're always feeding the people. And I pretty much was like, okay, I know I do that. But, we're cooks. That's what we do, right? And so I decided, I'm going to just roll with that tagline. And I've been rolling with that since then. And through that, I have created multiple platforms, be it through pop-ups, culinary education for kids, community events, even high-end dinners, etc. But the goal was to use food as a tool to bridge communities and to honestly offer some opportunity through with jobs, tech, but through food for our youth in particular. So through that, 10 years in LA was a good move for me down there. I went down to LA, started teaching kids cooking there, and really just wanted to showcase kids and let them see what I was doing in the kitchen, and then they got to learn. And through that, I really fell in love with teaching, did 10 years there, came back, and I pretty much knew exactly what I wanted to do. But the goal was like, in what format and how would I do that? And so with a little more experience at a couple more restaurants, roughly about 2012 is pretty much where everything, the beginning of Feed the People really started. We started out just doing some pop-ups, like I was saying earlier. And the pop-ups basically consisted of something that was honestly not existing in Seattle at that moment in time. Midnight Mecca was a late night pop-up, because why not have food on a late night after 11 p.m.? And then from that, we shifted to doing the infamous Morning Star Brunch pop-up, which basically it was a community gathering consisting of amazing food, artists. We even had some farmers selling produce. We had vendors. And that really, we stuck with that for a while. And that was something I think gave me the green light, saying that I knew I had something. And the question was like how I wanted it to go. And so once brunch pretty much stepped to the side, decided to try a new venture and ended up doing Midnight Mecca, which is a high-end 5 to 6 course fine dining dinner experience. And with that, I was able to incorporate my students. And so I have 2 teams, a kitchen team and a plating team. And basically what it is, the first 3 courses, the kids, they do plating, and the other 3 do plating, and then we swap. And so in doing that, it allows them to, I give them plenty room to cook, create. They have to be able to engage with adults that they've never actually spoken with before, but they really, really enjoyed that. And I pretty much, and that's when I really, really knew that it wasn't about a brick and mortar. It was more about food and youth. And with that, I've managed to actually do what I've always honestly did since the beginning. And now I've just expanded on that, which is food education through youth. And so here we're at Coyote Central, which is a nonprofit for the arts for kids between the ages of 11 and 17. I have been an instructor here for the last 7 years. And honestly, just really teaching kids anything and everything that has to do with food. Because it's not always about being a chef, right? It's always about what avenue in food do you enjoy, and how can I tap your brain to give you that opportunity. And since I've seen my share of food experiences over the years, I feel like I'll be able to use that as a leverage to showcase these kids that yes, you can do these things. And through that, I expanded on to doing more than just being just here. I was like, what else can we do to incorporate community and youth? Like any way possible, what can we do? And so one thing I realized is that the young generation here loves to be out. They love hanging out at night. And so why not we decided to do After Dark. After Dark is just basically a late night happy hour gathering with food, drink. But it was the perfect thing that was missing at a time and in a city that doesn't really do those things. And so through that, I was able to incorporate a couple of my youth. Ace is, of course, a little bit older, and they got a chance to see what it's like to produce the food, cook the food, set up, break down, and of course, they walk away with a little bit of money. And then from there, it was really just constantly pushing myself how I could constantly create this communal congregation, I guess if you want to say it's that. Which, I mean, because I grew up around the idea of just being around a lot of people and just congregating. Is just something that I enjoy, and I think we all enjoy it. And because of COVID, that kind of put things on hold just a little bit. And then I had a moment. And so a few months back, midsummer, I decided to sit down with my friend Malcolm Proctor. He's a very talented muralist. And I was like, hey, let's go paint a building. So we found an old building on Beacon Hill called Cucina Filipina, which is it was a previously owned Filipino restaurant that fed a ton of people, not only in the Beacon Hill neighborhood, but also the greater Seattle. They closed down about 5 years ago, and the building just sat vacant. And it was like the perfect experiment of what we had in mind. So Malcolm and I, we started on June 20th. It was a Saturday. We put Feed the People on the wall within 3 days. And the next thing you know it, the neighborhood was coming around. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then paint supplies came, and then more supplies came, and then more folks wanted to get on. And then after that, we started bringing in more artists and more artists. Till about 3 weeks ago, we ended up with 80 artists, 20 of them kids under the age of 10. And with the huge support of Beacon Hill, we've managed to not only turn it into an outdoor art incubator space, but we've actually turned it into an event space. Another thing that you can do to bring people together, which was host food, music, art events, or we allow someone to host an event there. Or my favorite, which is the Hanford Night Market, which is a food court rodeo. So 6 to 8 different food vendors. And of course, what does that do? It brings people out of their house, it brings them together. But yeah, it's COVID, but it's still it was manageable for folks to be able to just come, grab something, say hi to someone, and then go back home. And because of that, we are now officially, the Beacon Hill Plaza is no longer called the Beacon Hill Plaza. It is now officially called the Feed the People Plaza. And it's funny, like anytime we bring that up now, people are always asking, can we host an event there? Can we host an event there? And of course I say yes. I think we should always look at the idea of finding ways to bring folks together and really think outside the box. Like the reason why we did the food court rodeo was because we don't have that here. Portland, known for having these food rodeo setups. But, you know, and what I like about it is not just the idea of congregating, but it also creates another look at economy, you know, another way of producing dollars, another way of an emerging food culinarian, if you want to call it, up and coming, giving them an opportunity. And so for me, I'm always really trying to find ways to create the opportunity, create money, create jobs, and honestly, just the idea of just letting any child know that no matter what, there is an opportunity through food. It's just your choice of how you want to do it, and I will do my best to provide what I can. People kind of wonder where it really came from. A lot of that stemmed from growing up in the South End of Seattle. South End consisted of various communities. East, Ocean, we had some East African communities. And you know, when you live in the South End of Seattle, there was always something going on. There was always some sort of event, or there was always a family that invited someone over. And so through that, I knew there was something there. I just wasn't really sure at that time. But those are all examples of like why I do what I do. For instance, let's just talk about kids. We'll just go back to kids. We talk about how, you know, our kids old enough for certain things. And I say, if they got time to be in front of a keyboard, they got time to be on a cutting board. And so why not look at food in a way to where it's engaging, it's hands-on, and guess what? They get to make it, they get to showcase it to their parents. And when you see that, the look on their face of an accomplished project that they did, that just pushed me to want to really, I just wanted to do more. I really wanted to do more with that. And so now with the community kitchen, which we are doing, which is providing free meals, just like Sarah said, for anyone in need, we now add 2 students. They are 16. They work roughly about 4 hours. And they really see it all. Large batch cooking, learning how to read recipes, to honestly just engaging with folks at a time right now that is, who would have thought we would be at this point? But I think if we look at how we can keep our kids engaged, this is one way. And I feel like these kids will definitely look at this in a moment in time down the road when they realize and say, there was a time where I fed folks food for free. And there will always be a time that somebody may need a meal. And I know that I can do that because if Chef Tarek did it, or if Chef Tarek's friends do it, then I can do it. And that's why I push and say, anytime you have a child that's in that wants to come into that kitchen and has that look on their face and wants to cook, don't hesitate. Like, seriously, do not hesitate. You know, there's ways. If you got any questions, by all means, call the guy, call the cooker, and I can help you out with that. But I really just want folks to understand that it's okay for a knife to go in their hands, as long as you have the protocol and the safety, and just make it fun. A lot of times we'll just, you know, why not just come up with a competition? What's your favorite thing to eat? Okay, now you got 10 minutes to do it. What kid doesn't like competition? But it also, because of that, it pushes them too. Because the thing is, it's like you step away, you give them the tools, they create it, they finish it, and for them, that's a big accomplishment. And so I try to do my best I can to be there for the kids in any way possible. And that also goes for our community collective. So at the beginning of this pandemic, 8 of us came together and decided that why don't we provide free meals for folks during a time that people don't have access to food or do not want to go outside or leave their homes. And so through that, we formed this collective, and what it did, it allowed folks from various neighborhoods to have access to food for a handful of hours of the day and for completely free. And what I've also learned during this whole process is that the access to free food is there, people. I want to say that it is there. I get anywhere roughly between 500 and 700 pounds of food a week, completely donated. So yes, our kitchens are 100% food donated kitchens. And so that is another reason why we wanted to show folks that food doesn't always have to have a price tag, because we have access to so much. Why can't we come up with a format, a structure to where food can be readily available for anyone at any given time? Yes, I like the idea. I think we should have the opportunity to give that person 2 choices: to pay and support, or to just come and get it for free. To go to your favorite restaurant, or you have some tight times, there's always a community kitchen there for you. And so we're going to continue doing this work until we can't do it anymore. I'm going to continue doing this work until I can't do it anymore. Hopefully a couple of our young ones will definitely step up and take the reins and tell Cooker T to step aside. We got this. I hope that happens. And I really want anyone else out there to say, if you're interested, you want to come work, volunteer in the kitchen with us, you can contact me, cheftarek.com, or if you just really have any advice for us, or anytime you have a question about food or making a dish in your kitchen with your child, feel free to give me a call. I'm there for you. And I could go on for days about this work, but to be plain and simple about it, I just want food to be readily available at any given time for anyone. And in the words of all the kids here at the kitchen, that was some really good food, Mr. Cooker T. Oh, good times, good times. But let's just real quick. I just really wanted to just also say that if you live in a neighborhood, and you're in a neighborhood that you live in for, say, 3+ years, officially, you are in a neighborhood of your own that you live in. And if you live in this neighborhood, you should take the time, and if there's something that's not there, create it. The plaza was created with no questions asked. And what it did, it brought people out. You know, it gave people an idea of looking at, I guess I could do that too. Of course you can do that. It's a matter of, do you want to do that? Watching a 6-year-old paint to a 50, 60-year-old person paint on that wall was a sign of saying that there is opportunity for anyone. And congregating can happen no matter the age, no matter the gender, and no matter the neighborhood. Create, 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 create. There is no excuse for you to not create. We must all make time to create. If we know that we are missing something or there's something that we really want, knock on your door, meet your neighbor, say hi to your neighbor. Hi, I do this. Hi, you do that. What if we do something together for the neighborhood? This is just basic ABCs and 1, 2, 3s for me. I like to know who lives in my neighborhood. I want to know my neighbors. My neighbors should know who I am. I know a lot of us don't really get a chance to really experience that anymore because a lot of us are really caught up in this. We're now into more of an apartment lifestyle to a degree. But if you do have an opportunity to live in your neighborhood, definitely take the time and support all those businesses, every single one of them. Those times that you think you might want to go to that big wig coffee shop, think about that corner coffee shop. Shout out to the Station Coffee Shop on Beacon Hill. Support these spaces. All these other big companies, they have the money to be able to maintain and continue doing the work that they want to do business-wise. But let's think about certain small businesses and why they get into business. And they do that because of the fact that like they want opportunity, but they also want to create opportunity. And in order to be able to create opportunity, we need to make sure that we value these spaces and go into these spaces more than once. And make yourself readily available for them. You never know. Go into the space and say, hey, I hear you might need something. I do X, Y, and Z. Maybe I can provide for you. That's another way of just giving back. So definitely all I say is definitely look into how your abilities, your skill set can provide an opportunity for your neighborhood or for that little one. Is there anything else I want to say on that? I don't know. Yes, there's plenty more. When I turned 26 years old, I signed up for my first cooking class. I walked in, I saw the kitchen. It was a crazy mess. I was scared. I was nervous. I cleaned up the kitchen. We had summer camp. 22 kids signed up. Scared out of my mind. I was like, how am I going to teach 22 kids? How am I going to do this? But then over the years, I managed to figure out my strengths and my weaknesses and finding out like, how many can I teach? What is the curriculum? Can I create a curriculum? And then over the years, I kept on modifying and modifying and modifying. But I definitely knew that this was the way for me to go. I could clearly say, yes, I'm gonna open up a brick and mortar. But you know, in reality, there's nothing wrong with watching a 7-year-old make crab cakes. That puts a smile on my face. Oh man, I'll never forget that little 5-year-old that made crab cakes. That was great. But yes, to sum things up, to everyone out there, I would say that look at what you can do for your neighborhood, not just once, not just twice, and not just 3 times. Anytime you have free time, make time. Make time for your neighborhood, make time for your community, and definitely make time for kids. This is the perfect time for you to take your skill set and put it into the mind of a young one right now. Do not be intimidated by the fact of like, well, I am a certain age group and they're not going to understand. Well, that's where improv comes in. That's where improvising comes in. And then once you get comfortable, you realize it's not that bad. The kids want to learn just as much as what you have. So give what you can, do what you can. And in the words of many people, Tarek out. Thank you.
Thank you, Tarek. I just changed my screen so you can see the strengthening local economies everywhere banner above me. And I mean, like, no one's ever given a keynote in our 14 years of SLEE that was more appropriate, I think, to what we're trying to promote in our organization, and that theme specifically. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Create. I'm so inspired. I really am. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Right on. So next you're going to hear from one of CAGJ's newest leaders, Momo, who is one of our Food Justice Project co-chairs along with Sophia Kate. And you'll see that Momo lives in Arizona. And this is one exciting thing happening right now in CAGJ, that two of our leaders don't live in Seattle. But because of the pandemic, they're able to help guide our work because we're doing everything on these screens. So it's not ideal, like we want to be working with people in person, but it's also kind of exciting that we can expand in this new way and be creative in this moment. So Moma's going to share a little bit about how to get involved as a member of Community Alliance for Global Justice.
Hello everybody, my name is Momo Wilms-Crow. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the co-chair of CAGJ's Food Justice Project. I am calling in tonight from Tohono O'odham and Pasquayaki land in so-called Arizona, where I currently work as a youth food educator. I am so grateful to be speaking to you tonight, even though the circumstances might not be what we ever would have expected. But I hope that wherever you are tuning in from, you're enjoying yourself so far and eating something tasty. So clearly, the context of tonight is not what we might have expected. COVID has forced us physically apart, much to my disappointment because I wish I could be sitting next to you eating a delicious SLEE dinner. Yet, amidst that all, we are called to return to the people that we trust and organizations that we know are doing the work, cultivating a better, more just, more equitable future that is truly grounded in principles of liberation and justice for all. Luckily, CAGJ is one of the organizations that meets those requirements. I first got connected to CAGJ when I came across this book, Our Food, Our Right, in my university library last year, and flipping through it, immediately knew that the people who put it together I just had to get connected with. So I found the contact information and emailed them, and much to my surprise, the executive director, Heather Day, emailed me back inviting me to the office. So later that month, I was in Seattle and went to the office and spent over an hour with Heather. And I left not only with books to give back to my own community and those who I'd been working with around food justice in Oregon, but also a new understanding that CAGJ was truly a place where I wanted to spend my time as an organizer. So then I got involved with summer school over summer, which was a free 3-month-long political education campaign that worked with over 100 participants. That carried me through the instability of the summer with the hope that change is possible. They reminded me that although the fight for justice is never easy work, if done with the right people, it can be deeply nourishing, meaningful, and fulfilling. They reminded me, and you all remind me, that a new world is possible and that those on the front lines are carving it out each and every single day. Thus, it is all of our job to give where we can, pay attention, and do all that we can to support that transformative work. I truly believe that our lives, our planet, and our future is on the line now more than ever, and we all need to take a stand and get involved. Lucky for you, CAGJ makes that easy. We offer leadership development opportunities, skills sharing, political education, resource redistribution, and even more. So CAGJ is an incredible hub and organization to be plugged into if you want to make a difference both locally and globally. There are truly so many ways to plug in, and we welcome anyone who wants to join our efforts. And as a member organization, we need you also. So there is no CAGJ without our members, and we truly are people-powered. Unlike other nonprofits who get funding from the government or large corporations or foundations, we are truly funded by you. This makes us more accountable to our community and more impactful at a local scale. Plus, you know where your money goes to, because it's being directly funded to the grassroots projects that you so care about. With a modest budget, every gift makes a difference. So, now for the ironic part of asking for money for an anti-capitalist organization. please consider giving to CAGJ. We promise your donation will multiply our impact, build our capacity, and allow our work to continue. We need you, and every single dollar is appreciated. We know that many are hurting right now with the pandemic, including financially, but we hope you can trust in our work to give, knowing that the very way to get out of this pandemic is to invest in local communities and resilience networks, and CAGJ is doing that very work. There are multiple ways you can give to CAGJ, most importantly, becoming a member. So we are asking everyone here tonight to give and become a member. You can do this in two ways, either by donating or by pledging your time. Both are extremely valuable to us. And everyone here who is already a member, thank you, and we hope you will commit to renewing your membership. The second thing we offer is becoming a monthly sustainer. Ongoing donations to CAGJ will help continue our financial stability so we can spend our time organizing rather than fundraising, which means we can be more impactful and have more connections with our local communities. Plus, tonight, if you are a monthly sustainer, you will get both copies of Our Food, Our Right books sent to your door. These are what first connect me to CAGJ's work, so they hold a very special place in my heart, and I hope you will enjoy it too. Plus, maybe reading through these zines will inspire you to submit a piece of your own to the third edition, which we are working on right now at our Food Justice Project meetings. To become both a member and a monthly sustainer, please check out the link on the next slide or in your digital program. Now more than ever is the time to appreciate those who are advocating for change and creating transformation in their communities. So, on behalf of everyone involved in planning for SLEE and behind the scenes in CAGJ, we want to thank you for coming tonight. It means so much to us that you've been engaging with us, and hopefully we'll see you continue to engage with us, perhaps at our monthly Food Justice Project meetings, which are the third Tuesday of every month. So with that, I'll bid you good night. Hopefully you've had such a wonderful time, and just remember, there's a lot to do out there, but together we can. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Momo, for contributing in that way. And please become a member tonight if you are not already a member, and if you are, you can renew. You can become a member, as Momo said, either by donating or by just filling out a membership form and pledging your time to join CAGJ. Remember, if you become a monthly sustainer tonight at $10 a month or more, we'll send you both of our publications. And I'm so excited that Momo is launching the third edition of Our Food, Our Right, Recipes for Food Justice. If you want to become a monthly sustainer, you do need to do that on our website. But there's also the option to do a one-time donation on the platform we're using for SLEE, and that way all your donations will be in one place, like if you're bidding on silent auction items, for example. So that's why there's the two options. So thank you for supporting us in that way. We understand not everybody can, that these are hard times. And of course, just your support by filling out a membership form and just being supporting us in spirit is appreciated just as much as donations. So thank you. So at SLEE every year, we ask folks to take action for food sovereignty. And this week is actually the Food Week of Action. It's centered around World Food Day, which was yesterday. And with the U.S. Food Sovereignty Alliance, we're excited to have awarded the 12th Annual Food Sovereignty Prize to the Somali Bantu Community Association of Maine, who was our U.S. winner this year of the Food Sovereignty Prize, and to the All Nepal Peasants Federation. You can learn more about those in the press release on our website or on the U.S. Food Sovereignty Alliance platforms. We kicked off the week with wonderful organization Uprooted and Rising, who we've been collaborating with, and we honored Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday by protesting the planned release of genetically engineered salmon. Many of you know we've been following this issue for many years. We got Costco to commit to not selling GE salmon many years ago, and then we've been uplifting Northwest tribes' opposition to genetically engineered salmon. And on Monday, we held a beautiful action with Uprooted and Rising activists, and Uprooted and Rising is campus-based organization, and folks did actions all over the country. So check out this next video about that day. So I just want to thank Uprooted and Rising for the amazing energy and analysis that they're bringing to this campaign. It's a real boost of energy right when it's needed. You know, the release of GMO salmon is supposed to happen this fall. So this is really the time to do everything you can to take action to try to block it. There's many ways to support our Block Corporate Salmon campaign. You can see on the screen the link for the petition. Please sign and circulate it widely. Of course, we'll send out these links after SLEE and to make it easier for everyone to take action. And there's also a sign up there. If you want to get involved, then you can fill out a form and we'll get back to you to get you involved in the organizing. We also have a social media guide related to this campaign. So we'll send those links to everyone after SLEE, or you can find them on our website. We also just found out there's a call to action from the new Farm Workers Union that's formed in Yakima as a result of the recent strikes. Trabajadoras Unidas por la Justicia has been formed, which means Workers United for Justice. And they're asking us to send a message to Allen Brothers, one of the fruit packing companies there, to their management in support of these workers' union rights. So for more information, visit and follow the Trabajadoras Unidas por la Justicia Facebook page. And again, we will, the link is being posted and we will send that out after SLEE. Thank you so much for taking action with us. Reminder that there are just 6 minutes left until part of the silent auction closes. So part will close at 7. If you won tonight, you'll receive notification of that. The other items close at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. And as you may know already, or if you just signed up tonight, you'll see that you'll get reminders when other folks bid on the items that you're interested in. And we'll send you reminders as well. So thank you so much for supporting our silent auction. And with that, oh my gosh, our first virtual SLEE is wrapping up. We want to thank everyone who joined the live stream. A special thank you to everyone for making tonight's live stream happen. That includes Edward and Noelle, Kevin, Marcus, and especially Sarah and Lee. We call Sarah our tech goddess for a reason. Very special thank you to our many table captains. Thank you to Loki Fish Company, who has donated 30 whole wild salmon every single year of SLEE, including this year, which we distributed to table captains and community partners. I'm super excited that 3 salmon are headed to Yakima this weekend for that union that I was just talking about. They're really excited to get salmon. And thanks also to Clean Greens, who's been donating kale every year since they began. And can't mention Clean Greens without mourning the loss of Lottie Cross, a really important leader in our local food sovereignty movement. May she rest in power. Special thank you to all of our sponsors, our community partners, the silent auction donors. We couldn't organize SLEE without months and months of support from our interns. Thank you so much. And finally, a very special thank you to the SLEE coordinator, Sarah Lavenhar, who really was the perfect person to be driving SLEE in this year of many changes and having to convert from our dinner with 300 people to this online platform and the challenges of doing a live stream. And thanks so much to her husband too, who's doing the back end for us tonight. So we're gonna leave you tonight with the music of songwriter and climate justice activist Erica Lundahl, who's also a former SLEE coordinator. If you haven't already, please become a member tonight, either by donating or just filling out a membership form. Erica's music is gonna go past 7 p.m., so stay on and listen if you can. We're also going to have a post-SLEE Zoom party because I really want to see all of y'all, so you can visit with each other and celebrate for about 30 minutes after SLEE. So you're welcome to join that post-SLEE celebration, and the Zoom link is being posted in the chat and was in the reminder email earlier. So be well, everyone. Vote. Help us celebrate 20 years next year, and we hope to see you in person for SLEE 2021. Thank you. Good night.
Hi CAGJ, hi SLEE. Coming at you from North Seattle. I'm Erica Lundahl. I'm going to sing you a couple songs of grounding for these times. I think we all need it. Keep kicking butt. Making the world a more just place. And take care of your hearts and bodies. I sense a hollowing, afraid I gave myself away again. Tried to be the gift, tried to be the gift that kept on giving. But flowers do not bloom all the year round. Sometimes you've got to go, sometimes you've got to go, sometimes you've got to go to ground. Do I need to burn this mask I wear? Do I kiss it once with care for how its shadow made me? Kiss it twice for what it gave me on my journey of returning. Kiss it thrice and set it down upon the land. Body, earth, soil, sand. Watch me try to understand. Here is truth, and here is toiling. Here is grace, and here is growing. Here is love, and here is suffering, the great experiment of living in our hands, in our hands. grace. I'm a child of this learning, I'm a child of this turning, I'm a child of grace. I'm a child of this learning, I'm a child of this turning, I'm a child of grace. Ever evolving into the person I'm here to be. I've been breathing long and deep, for the labor does require me to be here, to be present. Grateful for the ones that came before, to listen to the lessons as they come, from whatever tongue, whatever blundering I've done, pain I've wrought and wrong, forgive me, oh heavens, forgive me. For I'm a child of this learning, a child of this turning, I'm a child of grace. I'm a child of this learning, I'm a child of this turning, I'm a child of grace. I'm a child of this learning, a child of this turning, I'm a child of grace. And the flowers do not bloom all the year round. Sometimes you've got to go, sometimes you've got to go, sometimes you've got to go to ground. We got a little bit of a fighter song. Keep going, that's what this song's for. Don't fight the way they want you to. Color in the lines won't get your due. You gotta go to the far out edge. Lean into the love and lean into the dread. They got paddy wagons by the courthouse where they're counting on you to be. So occupy them airports and start praying in the wheels. Fargo lobby. Hey, Jack, be nimble. To be quick. We'll jump over the candlestick. The flame is higher than it's ever been. If we don't give it a go here, fire might win, the fire might win, the fire might win, the fire might win. The fire might win, the fire might win, the fire might win. There's no one coming to save us but ourselves. So tighten up those bootstraps and pull the history books off the shelves. We got a new playbook, but first you gotta play. Won't do no good spinning circles to bring down a guy that's got no name. Hey, Jack, be nimble. To be quick. We'll jump over the candlestick. The flame is higher, higher than it's ever been. And if we don't give it a go here, fire might win, fire might win, fire might win, the fire might win. The fire might win, the fire might win, the fire might win. And where the wind whips, the sun is red. I spent days just hanging my head. wanna tear down this door, everything that ever came before, but it won't do no good. Fire and rain enlisting in the army of a hurricane, of a hurricane. So don't fight the way they want you to. Coloring the lines won't get your due. You gotta go to the far out edge. Lean into the love and lean into the dread. Lean into the love, lean into the dread. Lean into the love, lean in. Lean into the love, lean into the dread. But lean into the love, lean in. Lean in. I don't know if I was supposed to play 2 songs or 3 songs. I'm going to play one more really short one and support CAGJ, support Community Alliance for Global Justice tonight, because they are so badass. They're doing such important work in our community. I love them. I love that we have such a community-oriented global justice organization that is just holding corporations' feet to the fire and bringing us all together year after year, doing amazing research, standing with our farm workers and all of it. So this is a little Mom Muse song called We Shall Be Known. We shall be known by the company we keep. We're the ones who circle around and tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the world. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. Feel free to sing along if you know it. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around and tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. I hope you're all taking deep breaths tonight, taking good care of yourself, drinking plenty of water, taking good care of each other. Because there's a lot of beauty in this world, and we got a lot of work to do, and we got a lot of people to do it with. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round and tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the program.